Question 1. A financial institution receives a request from a foreign FIU for information about a customer's transactions. What should be the first step? Option A. Provide the requested information immediately to comply with international obligations. Option B. Verify the legitimacy of the request and ensure compliance with local laws. Option C. File a suspicious activity report based on the request. Option D. Notify the customer about the request before responding. The correct answer is option B. Verify the legitimacy of the request and ensure compliance with local laws. Verify the legitimacy of the request and ensure compliance with local laws. This step is crucial to protect the financial institution's interests and to uphold legal and regulatory requirements. Providing information immediately, choice A, may violate local laws, as financial institutions must confirm the legitimacy of the request before disclosing customer information. Filing a suspicious activity report, choice C, is not the appropriate first step, as the request itself does not necessarily indicate suspicious activity without further investigation. Notifying the customer about the request, choice D, may breach confidentiality and could be against regulations, especially if the request involves sensitive information that necessitates discretion. Extended rationale, the correct answer remains B, verify the legitimacy of the request and ensure compliance with local laws. To understand this item thoroughly, begin by identifying the exact concept being tested and then connect the most important clue in the question to the defining characteristics of the correct answer. The strongest answer is not simply the option that sounds generally related to the topic, it is the option that most precisely accounts for the facts, terminology, circumstances, or decision described in the STEM. This distinction is especially important in professional examination questions because several choices may contain statements that are true in another setting while only one directly answers the question being asked. A careful approach is to evaluate the alternatives one at a time. For each choice, ask what specific evidence would need to be present for that option to be correct and then compare that requirement with the information actually supplied in the question. Incorrect options often represent closely related concepts, different stages of a process, different responsibilities, different risk factors, or actions that would be appropriate only after additional facts were established. Recognizing those distinctions helps eliminate distractors without changing or adding assumptions to the original scenario. The underlying principle should also be understood in context rather than memorized as an isolated fact. In real-world professional practice, decisions are generally based on the totality of the available information, established procedures, relevant standards, and the specific circumstances of the case. An individual clue may point toward a particular conclusion, but sound reasoning requires determining how that clue relates to the broader concept being tested. This is why understanding why an answer is correct is more useful than memorizing the answer letter alone. The same principle can appear in a future question using different wording, a different scenario, or a different set of distractors. For exam purposes, use a 3-step method. First, determine exactly what the STEM is asking you to identify, prioritize, recognize, or do. Second, isolate the decisive clue or clues and connect them to the relevant concept. Third, compare every option with those clues and eliminate answers that require information the question does not provide. Following that reasoning confirms B, verify the legitimacy of the request and ensure compliance with local laws, as the best answer. The original rationale above establishes the core reason, and this expanded analysis reinforces how to distinguish the correct response from the alternatives while applying the same concept confidently to similar questions.